cover 5 key considerations for you to think about as a first new engine company when showing up to a structural collapse call. The first key consideration I like to think about is the vehicle positioning and the collapse zone. When pulling up to one of these calls, think about pulling past the structure to allow that officer to get a visual of 3 sides. And then also when pulling past the structure, think about your placement and how far you are away from the building. As a general rule of thumb, you want to be 1.5 times the building height placed away. And then also the last thought or consideration to think about for vehicle placement is your support companies and the collapse truck. Make sure you leave room for support company placement or the collapse truck. We're going to want the collapse fairly close to the call, or as close as it can safely be, so we can efficiently move tools and equipment off that rig. The second key consideration I'd like to think about is the officer's 360 and developing an IAP. And when thinking about setting up the IAP, think about the additional resources that are going to be needed for these type of calls, and make sure that we've got those resources accounted for and on their way. The third key consideration I would like you to think about is locating the victim and victim triage. When locating the victim, if there's a known victim on scene, make sure you don't get sucked into rushing into that victim's location or potential last known location. And make sure you slow down and don't put yourself in harm's way. And if you can talk to the victim and you can safely stay far enough away from the structure so you can stay in communication with the victim, then that's great. But make sure we don't continue moving in until we are able to stabilize and work our way from the outside in. The fourth key consideration I would like to think about is controlling the utilities. So obviously we want to try to control all the utilities for the structure itself if we can safely get to those utilities, but also keep in mind any additional utilities that may be near the structure, power lines, or anything that's adjacent to the structure, that if the structure continues to collapse, may be a future problem. And just keep those in the back of your mind. The fifth and final key consideration I'd like to think about is just the continually assessing the structural integrity and not getting complacent about getting sucked into your task or your current job that you're assigned, and stepping back and making sure you're continually watching the structure and assessing the structure as it continues to potentially move or collapse further. So those are all the 5 considerations I'd like y'all to kind of keep in mind as y'all watch a mock scenario that we have set up, and we're going to let that scenario play out. And when you watch that scenario, just keep those five things in mind. And I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
We have a single vehicle. RP's reporting that it's one patient. Appears that they've gone into the building. So PT, when we get there, patient care, obviously, be aware of the building and the hot zone, okay? And Greg, just good placement. Just think about the rescue and the collapse coming in. Average 200-inch 45. Engine 45 is on scene. Have a single vehicle. Appears to be contacting the building. I'll be out conducting the 360. All units continue on stage. This will be training.
Excuse me, sir. Can you hear me?
What?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Are you injured?
No, I'm not injured. I'm stuck. I can't get out.
Okay. Can you turn the vehicle off for me and throw me the keys?
Yeah, vehicle's off. Yeah. What do you got?
Got one patient, trauma green, can't self-extricate. He's turned the vehicle off, so it's stable for now.
Okay, sound good. All right, Greg, if you can find utilities, you go ahead and just control them. Got it. 200, training command. 360 is complete. I do have a single vehicle into the building, partial collapse. We have one trauma green patient that's just stuck inside the vehicle. We're going to continue to do patient assessment away from the vehicle. Rescue 42, when you arrive on scene, do a face-to-face with me. So we have a single vehicle, obviously contacted the building. It appears to me that it's compromised that upright on the left side, and that appears to be pretty structural. All right, we have one green, trauma green patient in there. PT is still just in verbal contact with them. They're uninjured, they're just stuck. Greg has controlled utilities, and that's confirmed. Beyond that, single patient with that collapse. I'll let you take it from here. Let me know where we can be of help.
Sounds good. I want to go ahead and approach it from the safe side.
Okay.